Today I'm looking at two new cases, one from ReeFlex and one from Sandmarc. And these are nice cases, actually expensive cases, and something I actually haven't used before. Nope, I have never owned a leather iPhone case before, and now I have two. And the cool thing is they both work with lenses, which is great. But are they worth it? The ReeFlex box comes shrink wrapped and looks like a premium product. Very Apple inspired, obviously. Inside you've got instructions, which is nice. Shows you the lens mounts, etc. I do like that quite a bit. And again, the box and the presentation feels premium. And so does the case. The case feels good in your hand, has a nice, kind of a soft texture. Doesn't totally feel like leather. Feels a little bit like nylon or plastic, but it still has a good feel. And then the inside is soft to the touch. I believe it's a microfiber lining, and it's MagSafe compatible. And then the lens mount is very sturdy, metal, some sort of aluminum, and you don't have to worry about your lenses falling off this at all. I really like the trend with these newer cases where the lens mount feels very secure, and that's across all brands. The Sandmarc box feels like a Sandmarc box. If you've ever bought a Sandmarc product, all their boxes kind of look and feel the same. They're a little bit bigger, and there's a lot of cardboard, but it's a nice design. Foam padding inside. No instructions on this case, but the case itself feels really pretty nice. It actually feels like leather. Kind of like a wallet or maybe a car seat. Not quite that plush, of course, but definitely has that type of a texture. Inside is soft. Again, I think it's microfiber, MagSafe compatible. And then the lens mount, again, it's metal like the ReeFlex, an aluminum of some kind. The design is a little bit different, but in the end, it's a 17mm mount, and so it'll work with their mobile lenses or any 17mm mount lenses. The Sandmarc has a more traditional leather sheen to it. It looks more like leather than the ReeFlex to me, and it might feel just slightly more premium. The ReeFlex has a nice feel to it, but it feels slightly more nylon, more than wrapped in leather. And the ReeFlex doesn't appear to get any kind of fingerprints on it. The Sandmarc is pretty good about that, but it feels like you could get some fingerprint or some thumb smears on there from daily use. But I don't think you'll have any issue with that with the ReeFlex. The lens mounts, of course, work the same on either phone case, but the design is different. The Sandmarc is more what I would call open, not only around the lenses, but also around the flash and the LiDAR sensor on the right. The ReeFlex is more of a closed-in look. Seems like that would be more secure, holding your lenses and such, but it's probably negligible. I personally like the look of the ReeFlex plate better. Both of them are metal, and so that means it will securely mount your lenses. And they're both 17mm mount, which is great. So technically, these would be interchangeable with either of their lenses. They also both feel very light, which I do like. I was afraid they might be kind of on the heavy side because of the leather wrap. The buttons on the Sandmarc protrude, and the ReeFlex are more flush. Sandmarc has two little holes there at the bottom. The ReeFlex does not. This side looks pretty similar, although the Sandmarc has a little indentation there, probably a design element. The ReeFlex is smooth. And then the tops are identical. The bottoms look very similar, but the ReeFlex has a little grid pattern or honeycomb pattern in there, and the Sandmarc is clear. And here I have a Plank SSD, and it's very important to make sure the cases work with this type of connection. And yep, good news, they both do work. And overall, the build quality on both feels very nice. They're both a premium feel, and they should be because they do cost more than traditional cases. At the time of this video, the Sandmarc case is $59.99 US dollars, and the ReeFlex case is also $59.99. So do I recommend them? Yeah, I do. And so in the end, if you want a premium case that not only looks great, but also works with 17mm mount smartphone lenses, then yeah, I think they're worth it. Links for the cases and the other gear featured in this video are in the description.